Hello, Grade 9 learners. My name is Tuto Masudubele, and today we will be doing factorization through the highest common factor. What is factorization? Factorization is the process of breaking down a number or a polynomial into factors. Now let us consider the given expression. If we are required to simplify the expression of a multiplied by b plus c, what we do is that you multiply a with b, and then you multiply a with positive c. And by doing that, you'll have a times b plus a times c. And if we simplify this further, this can be written as ab plus ac. Now we factorize. What factorization is basically the reverse process of what we just did. Now let us consider the given expression. We have AB plus AC. Now we need to look for a factor that is common in both terms. And what's common in both terms is A. A is a factor in the first term, also A is a factor in the second term. So what we do, we take out A out as the common factor, and to now know what will be left is that we divide each term by the common factor. So we'll have AB divided by A plus AC divided by A. And when we continue to simplify this, the expression that's inside our bracket, A divided by A will be left with B, and A divided by A will be left with C, and therefore we will have A into B plus C. And now let us look at the following expression. If we are given 10k cubed plus 15k to the fifth power, and we are required to factorize the expression fully, what we need to do is to look out for a common factor in both terms, and in particular the highest common factor. Now, to start with, we first need to list down the factors of 10. And what are the factors of 10? That's 1, 2, 5, and 10. And what are the factors of 15? That's 1, 3, 5, and 15. Now, what is common and what is the highest common factor in both? We'll all realize that that is 5. We then list down the factors of k cubed, and k cubed can be written as k multiplied by k multiplied by k. And the factors of k to the fifth power can be written as k times k times k times k times k times k. It's basically k multiplied by itself 5 times. And now let us look for the highest common factor for 10 and 15. And we all know that that will be 5. And the highest common factor for k cubed and k to the fifth power will be k to the third power, or k cubed. Now that we know what our highest common factor is, that will be 5k cubed. And once we've taken out 5k cubed as the common factor, what do we need to do? We divide each term by the highest common factor. So you take 10k to the power of 3 divided by the highest common factor, which is 5k cubed, plus 15k to the fifth power divided by 5k cubed. And if you apply the laws of exponents by simplifying the expression that's inside the bracket, we'll be left with 2 plus 3k squared. Now let's factorize the next expression. If you are given 12x to the 9th, y to the 6th, plus 20x to the 4th, y to the 11th, and you're expected to factorize, we look out for the highest common factor of 12 and 20. And by writing down the factors of 12 and the factors of 20, you will realize that the highest common factor there will be 4. Now, when it comes to variables, you look for a common variable in all terms that has the smaller exponent. I repeat, look out for the common variable in all terms that has the smaller exponent. And when you look at x to the ninth and x to the fourth, which variable has the smaller exponent? That will be x to the fourth. And we look at y to the sixth and y to the 11th, which variable has the smaller exponent? And that will be y to the sixth. So our highest common factor, therefore, grade 9 learners, will be 4x to the fourth, y to the sixth. Now, what do we then do? You then divide each term of the original expression with the highest common factor. And if we simplify further by using or applying the laws of exponents, we'll be left with 4x to the fourth, y to the sixth, into 3x to the fifth plus 5y to the fifth. Now let's move on to the next example. We are given those three terms and we're expected to factorize fully. So what do? We need to check out for what is the highest common factor in all three terms. Now the factors of 54 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18, 27, and 54. Factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, and 8. Factors of 16 are 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. I'm sure by now you can already see what is the highest factor that goes into all three numbers, and that will be 2. We now need to check out for the highest common factor for the variables. We now look for a common variable in all three terms that has a smaller exponent, and that will be a cubed. We then look out for a common factor, a common variable in all three terms. And if you check for b, we have b present in all three terms, but which variable, which b has a smaller exponent, and that will be b to the sixth power. When it comes to c, notice that c is not common in all three terms. C is not found in all three terms. The middle term does not contain the variable of c. So c will not be part of the highest common factor. Now the highest common factor, then grade 9 learners, will be 2a cubed b to the sixth power. And what do we do to find the expression that remains? You divide each term by the highest common factor. And by simplifying that further, we'll be left with 2a cubed b to the sixth power into 27a squared b c to the ninth power plus 4a to the ninth power b to the ninth power minus 8c to the fourth power. Let us then evaluate the next expression and factorize it fully. We have t into p minus r plus 3 into p minus r. Now, what is common in both terms? You will realize that it is the factor of p minus r. P minus r is present in both terms. So our common factor will be p minus r. And how do we find the expression that remains? Remember, you divide each term by the highest common factor. And as we do that, we'll have that. And if we simplify further, p minus r will divide p minus r, will be left with t. P minus r will divide p minus r, will be left with positive 3. Now let us factorize fully the next expression. If you are given 8m into x plus h to the fifth power minus 4r into x plus h cubed, we now need to look out for the highest common factor. Now the highest common factor of 8 and negative 4 will be 4. And because x plus h is common in both terms, we choose a base that has the smaller exponent. And that will be x plus h to the power of 3, or x plus h cubed. Now what do we do to find the expression that remains? You divide each term by the highest common factor. And if we simplify the expression further, we'll then be left with 4 into x plus h all cubed into 2m x plus h squared minus r. And now let us factorize the next expression. If you are given k multiplied by x minus 4 minus h multiplied by 4 minus x, the first thing we need to do here is to rearrange the terms in the second bracket. So if you rearrange the terms in the second bracket, we'll have k multiplied by x minus 4 minus h multiplied by negative x plus 4. We then need to factor out negative 1 from the second bracket. If we factor out negative 1 from the second bracket, negative 1 multiplied by negative h will give us positive h, and we'll be left with x minus 4 in the second bracket. We then realize that x minus 4 is common in both terms, and we take x minus 4 out as the common factor, and then we'll be left with k plus h. Remember, how do you find the terms that are in the second factor? You divide each term with the highest common factor. That brings us to the end of our lesson today, grade 9 learners. Please scan the QR code. It will take you to a quiz on the factorization of algebraic expressions, and good luck.